Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the Shonen Ronin episode 29 to cover My Hero, JJK, and like Sam put on the title, Black Clover / Maybe. So we will see and discuss how we feel, how the chat feels to discuss these said three series, and like we said in the last two Shonen Ronin episodes, of what series we could replace or add, because we are feeling mixed about Black Clover, but now that we have the whole team, the OGs here, we can have a full conversation about that. And it's Shonen Ronin, the last episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump, issue 3 and 4 on this episode. So check out Twitter. Check out. Yes, I was leading into that, Sam. We will do special most likely next week or the following weekday. Who knows? It depends on the team's schedule to do the best manga of the year and such that. But let's show our lovely, beautiful faces and let's start the show. Welcome, Anime Lily fans. How you guys doing? LegendDVash is myself, SametheMangaMan, JB Exclusives, and the King of Games, Ray Apollo. How are we all doing here today?
Best anime of the year is One Punch Man. I said
season.
it
this year.
I'm about to say this
no
year.
Season this year.
I know. Okay.
I was gonna say like best manga, but shit, like okay, if you want to start that conversation, sure, that's kind of
No, it's too late. I'm sticking with One Punch Man. Everything's fine. That's my answer for everything.
Okay.
Ray, what was the best? One Punch Man. What should I watch? One Punch Man. You know, that's how it's gonna be.
What should you read?
One Punch Man. Easy.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely read it though for sure.
It's a very easy answer for me. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But like we alluded to, we've been feeling mixed about Black Clover, and James hasn't been here for the past two shows, and we did discuss that we've been feeling that we want to either cover Black Clover as a monthly or bi-weekly, and we want to switch out and add another series from Weekly Shonen Jump. We did discuss to add Undead Luck. We haven't had the chance to talk to James off air about it, so now that he's here, how do you feel about adding another series, or does Undead Luck seem interested to you, JB?
Yeah, I always wanted to read it. This will definitely give me an excuse to make sure that I'm caught up every single week. So I would love to do Undead Unlock. And I have no issues doing Black Clover bi-weekly because much like today's chapter, there really isn't anything to talk about. There's nothing to dissect. So it's like if we have like 2 chapters each to talk about every time we do it, like that'll be a little bit easier to talk about. But I mean, of course, we can discuss that a little bit more. But yeah, super down for Undead Unlock.
Good to know. Because a lot of people were, when we asked initially, I think a lot of people were suggesting Undead Luck. So
yeah, a lot of people were suggesting Undead Luck, Sakamoto Days, and Spy Family, and then one person they also suggested Records of Ragnarok, but that's not really coming out.
Yeah, Records of Ragnarok, and then some of the folks were asking
Blue Lock, Spy Family, Eden Zero.
The one that you love, Vash.
Mission Jujutsu Family.
Yeah. We got a few
I'm really
recommendations for that
behind on
too.
Spy Family. I need to.
That one's a
caught up.
good, wholesome series, and the plot
I
and
love
narrative is really good to discuss. I feel like Spy Family or Mission Jujutsu is good to discuss either or, because I feel like it's such a good story and it's such a good. People like to compare it to him and Reborn, so a lot of people say that there's a much better storytelling and much better pacing. So I'm either or for any of these 4 series, Undead Luck, Sakamoto Days, Mission Jujutsu Family, because I'm for either or for
Spy Family.
Oh, Spy Family too. Even though that one does actually go bi-weekly, so that one will actually be just cool.
Hey, I mean, you got that anime announcement, so.
Yeah, that is very true. Anime announcement.
There's only one anime announcement I cared about.
Chainsaw Man?
Bleach.
Oh, right.
No, anime of the year 2022, Bleach.
Yo,
I'm calling it now.
That hypeness, that animation studio period, and doesn't make like I'm just happy for the director that's doing it, because for those that don't know, the director that did it, that's doing it, he's a director that did Akudama Drive, and that animation was from Studio Period as well, and that looked beautiful as hell. So can't wait to see
Listen,
what
I think that they knew going into this that they had to wow when this happens. Like it has to be top tier. Those fights are going to be insane. So I'm like, y'all got to go above and beyond.
That one shot from the summer too. I want more continuation of that. Either give us some more one shots or.
So Sam, I'm glad you said that, because I think depending on how the anime does, or even halfway through, I think we're going to get that announcement that they're going to continue the story.
Yep, same.
I want that.
Like, I feel like there's no way that they don't now, to be honest. We get the Bleach Shippuden that we would deserve.
And also, I appreciate it, Rob. the gang is all here. He said that he missed all four of us being together on the same screen. So I appreciate that, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, we appreciate you too.
Oh yeah, appreciate you guys.
And then also, in case anybody's gonna ask, Boruto and Dragon Ball Super is coming out tomorrow, so we will try to squeeze time in the day of our schedule to see if we can make.
Like I said, I'm on vacation now, so that'll be easier to do.
Grant says, "Don't we get Vinland Saga next year?" Yes, I think we do. Yeah, we do.
Yes, we get Vinland, we get Attack on Titan next year, but this Bleach, this arc is like
people have been waiting for like
we waited
6 years.
Like
7,
like almost
years.
like 10. But
remember,
like
they made the announcement on their like 6 years since it's like manga
like,
ending.
What I'm thinking is like if they are going as hard on this as they seem to be, yeah, Bleach is gonna be hard to beat. Even though like it's hard because Bleach in that part isn't like at its hyper stage, and these other ones are kind of like at their mid stage. You know what I'm saying? Except for Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is like about to fucking go off the rails.
What I'm really glad is Studio Period is staying with Bleach because MAPPA has so much under their plate.
Yeah, MAPPA needs to hire another studio.
Because they picked up Hell's Paradise, which was another Shonen Jump's like big monthly series too.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you adding Attack on Titan, and then you're also adding what's the other big thing? Like they have 3 big projects, and it's already like it's overworking themselves right now. So
it's just I really hope that they just have enough people. If they have enough people, they're fine.
Yeah, they're good. But let's jump into our series because this is not the anime podcast. This is just in order to discuss.
This can be whatever we want it to be.
Well, this is all involving Shonen Jump, so this is still involves Bleach and everything else. But want to tackle My Hero first or JJK? How we all feel
about My Hero?
Cool.
I kind of want to talk about My Hero. Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into the My Hero because sometimes people be having explosions, just having boob jumping on their face out here.
Yes, my life goals.
Right? Literally life goals.
First thing, the title was the title, The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part 1. For one, Horikoshi knows what he was doing, especially during the break. It's like, here's the part 1 part. You won't get any more until next year. Mm-hmm. You son of a bitch.
Which I'm glad because, like, imagine that he just ended it for the break with the Ayama reveal. Like, imagine if that was what it was. He was like, all right, going on break, deuces.
That would have been sick.
Right?
It's like, wait, what?
But no,
I
like this chapter. Mostly because of the message that the adults were giving to the kids. For the first time, I think, in a long time, they've actually been like talking to these kids because they don't know everything. But then, they've just been kind of going about how they've been doing things, and nobody's been like telling them otherwise because they've been through so many traumatic events. But this time, it's like, hey, relax. Ain't no goody hero stuff right now because this dude is a villain. he's basically an evildoer. You need to slow down and let us figure out how to make this happen first. No power of friendship is going to help us with this one. It's essentially what the pops were saying. I was like, good, because they're right. We don't know what's up with him. It's like, yeah, he can be sad all he wants. We don't know what else is beyond how All For One has done his things with everybody else. So they're like, well, at least he's not booby trapped, which I'm like, yeah, that's probably good. But who else know? Like, who knows? Like, is he able to like hear everything they're saying? Like, All For One would never just give them one way to communicate with him. Like, I feel like there's some other bullshit there. Like, there ain't no way. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, you'll be that one thing for me, and that's it. And this is the only way you can kind of get him right. If All For One wants you, he's gonna get you.
Right.
But this was good. I appreciated this. They did a lot of talking in a way that I'm like, I think the kids needed to hear too. It's like, you need to actually double check and see if you can actually truly trust him, not just, the blind faith that he's your friend. Like, right. Can you trust him?
I like that very much.
Good question.
Like, I felt like the adults were having an actual conversation with the kids, like adults. Like, they were both in this whole situation in the same equal level. And I love how Ida popped out saying that, hey, we also was part of the problem because we didn't realize our friend was hurt. And also even Aizawa took blame in the fall. Like, hey, I was his mentor. I was his teacher. I didn't even see this. So I don't have no plans to expel you. I'm like, oh, this is dope. I didn't expect that
because it was Ayama say, because Eraserhead literally believed none of my students can be traitors. Like, he had full on trust. I mean, which is another thing. If he saw Ayama as a hero, more of a potential hero for the future, he never really saw him as the villain that he feels himself as in right now.
I mean, I
Still
also
now.
feel that's just because he was really good at his job of not getting caught. I'll be honest with you. He had shook all suspicion, which is super impressive. Like, to be very honest with you, it's like nobody suspected him. I mean, outside of the readers, of course. Nobody in that class suspected Aoyama. Like, period.
Mhm.
The thing for me is the reason why no one was able to catch on is because I feel like he was being genuine with everything that he said, everything that he
Mhm.
did, and he only reported when All for One called, right? Like he wanted to be a part of something. When he was a kid, he was ostracized from everyone else because he didn't have a quirk. He didn't have any of these things, which pushed his parents into forming the deal in the first place to give him a quirk. So
Mhm.
him being in UA with all of these other people, especially around Deku, someone else who was also struggling with their quirk, he was really like connected to them. So I don't feel like there was any way for anyone to know, right?
Right.
But I just love that the students and Aizawa are taking responsibility for it because they're the ones that spent so much time with him, but it isn't their fault.
Right.
Right? It isn't their fault at all.
And that's where I'm like, oh, y'all shouldn't take responsibility for that because you literally didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I'm like, y'all can't take responsibility for that. Like, there's no reason for you to take responsibility. And it's like, I still, like I said, I think I said it last time. I don't blame Aoyama for any of this.
I don't.
I give him no fault. I blame his parents.
Okay.
In the story, straight up, they are 100% at fault with this. He was just, he's literally the victim in this. So I'm like, look, I'm glad that his friends care about him because I mean, he was still a classmate. Like, he's still, when they were doing hero shit, guess what? He was doing hero shit with them for the most part.
The whole class was not divided at all. They're all like trying to
So-
still stand together.
So question for you, Ray, because this wasn't clear to me when I was reading the manga, but do you think the parents knew who All for One actually was before they made the deal? Because
So-
I personally can't blame the parents because All for One is a master manipulator. It's like, oh sure, yeah. I have the ability to give out quirks. All you have to do is do a couple things for me here and there, and I can give your child whatever he needs.
I feel like to have to be in a place to get that kind of knowledge, you had to be in some kind of shady circles to begin with. And so it's like, I mean, there was probably it was not all kosher and good. Like, oh yeah, there's a guy who can just help our child and give him a quirk. And when you know damn well that that's not a normal thing, it's like, that's a little strange. But I'm like, they were desperate. And so even if they did know, they were desperate. And so it's like, it's still at a point, it's like, no, they still knew what they were doing. I mean, you had to know, like, he had to basically give an ultimatum before they accepted. He was like, hey, if I do this, you and this kid will do exactly what I need you to do when the time is right. And that should have been a red flag. Oh, shit. We just messed up.
I mean, they were also kind of like
suspicious already because they even said like, hey, we heard this, but why is this not more known to others? I'm like, if y'all are suspicious already, or y'all already asking these type of questions, don't do it. So for them to even still go along with it, even though they already asked the type of questions to themselves,
how I saw it was like they are like rich family or like rich, like higher types of family or something like that. They probably thought like you would expect them to have some kind of connection within the dark network or whatnot, and they thought that maybe if we pay this certain ransom, maybe we get a curse. Yeah, like maybe we pay this certain amount of money if that's what he wanted, and then we'll give our son a quirk. But no, unfortunately, it's nope. We don't want money. We want to use your son to do what we want in these evil plans, and you can't do anything about it because you made contact with us. You made a deal. And you're gonna die if you were to say anything else.
And I mean, yeah, they feel bad, but it's also like, hey, people died. Like, people died.
Lots of people.
Because of what y'all did. So it's like, no, you still, some mistakes are unforgivable. In a sense, it's like, yeah, y'all got people killed. Just basically trying to cover your own asses. Like,
yeah, I mean, they shouldn't be in Tartarus, but I mean, it is what it is. They have to serve some kind of time to make up for what they did. Because of everything that they did, like you said, Ray, dozens, hundreds of people died throughout this entire thing. And it's like you guys already alluded to, like, you already saw the red flags. All for One, I don't think All for One told them to put Oyama into UA
right
until he saw Deku go to UA
mm-hmm.
and realized that and All Might and realized that the quirk was there and that we needed to have eyes on All Might and Deku.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's just like he's just been waiting for years.
Oh yeah.
For the perfect moment, and they thought everything would be fine. But yeah, man, they should have saw the red flags. But that's a part of privilege too. It's like, well,
exactly.
I have money.
It can't
we'll
be that
fine.
bad. Yeah.
It can't be that bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And but no, you're right. So sorry, Vash, but it's like, yeah, he was following All Might because I mean, we can blame it on All Might. The reason why this is happening in US because All Might decided to go be a teacher there. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which isn't directly his fault, but because he thought that he had took care of All for One. Remember?
Yeah.
So it's like. This is wild. It's wild to me. It's like he's been planning this far along. He got stopped at one time. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Like that's a hatred and patience because it's crazy how in this, the way this chapter started, I didn't expect it because I didn't expect the whole detective Tsukuchi, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I didn't expect him to be like, hey, not so fast. He's still a criminal. He still caused these type of incidents to happen. So yes, you could extend his hand, but that doesn't mean that we will let you extend his hand.
I loved it. He said, "Hey, yo, no hand holding. He's basically a criminal, and we
no
still
contact, no nothing."
I was like, you know what? That was the most police thing they've done.
It was right. It just threw me like, oh, he did his police job, literally.
And like he said, we really don't know if they're booby trapped or not. Like we have to wait until analysis is done because, and I mean, I'm not saying that I believe this, but do you think that there could be a second traitor? Because All for One doesn't seem to be the type of person that would put all of his eggs in one basket, right?
I still think it's him. I still think it's a detective.
We did say that.
I think it's him. Yeah.
Okay.
We did say that last week.
I truly do think it's him.
Ray said it was a detective. I said it could still be the principal because like it's just.
I mean, Nezu also has a lot of stuff where it makes sense. Like if you really, really, really think about it, there's a lot of stuff that still like I still have Nezu as like a still top like other trader person. And I wouldn't even say trader, just straight up villain, to be honest. Like he's just doing what he needs to do to achieve his goals potentially. But yeah, I definitely think it's the detective. Plus, I think so.
And plus, if I'm correct, All for One said I have friends over there, so like he said it with an S. So like it's like there's probably more than one trader.
I feel that was also just kind of something to throw us off as readers too.
That too.
Yeah. Because it's like, it could be read as, well, friends. It could be the mom, the dad, and Ayama.
Exactly.
Or it could be multiple informants.
That is true. So, because technically, Ayama is technically the only informant, but the parents is what brings him the information. So,
yeah. So I'm like, who knows? And I love that for Horikoshi. Like, he didn't like specific, like he gave you what you wanted, but he was like, well, there could be more. I'm gonna let you think about that. You know,
yeah.
Spit on that for a while. I love the way Horikoshi writes his story, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Although, is there any truth to that statement? Just getting off track that My Hero is ending in a year.
Yes, there is a statement that came out.
If everything is going on track, yeah, he says it's going to end within a year.
I think that makes sense, man.
Exactly.
Like, this arc should be... This arc should be the last big arc, and then there should be... What is it called? Like a epilogue to just end out the story?
Yep.
I think that should be it. Like, after you've defeated All for One, like, what do you do? There's nothing else to do.
And I feel like we've said this a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it will make sense because I think we did say when we've heard that he's up to his last saga or last act, I think during the summer, and we all agreed that, all right, cool, so it should be ending by less than chapter 400. And if he did say that My Hero has one more year, that's less than 52 chapters. By then, it's probably going to be chapter 380, 390, the closest. So that would make sense.
I wanted to end it at even 400, but that's just me being selfish.
Me too. That's what I would
If there's anything that needs to be off track, then yeah, I would definitely see at 380. If there's need to be added, he had to add it just for certain character or certain reasons for this fully making sense and stuff like that.
And plus, it makes sense if there is exactly a full year, 52 chapters. That is literally a one whole type of issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. Then it could literally end at 380. But yeah, I don't mind those extra 20 chapters to make it 400 as well as nice epilogue. I have no problem either.
But you know, and I have to wonder. It's like because if you really think about what the basis of this story is, it's about how Deku became the greatest hero. That's been the overall. This is what this is, and I would like to say that we pretty much have seen him become that. So it's like the story. It is. I feel like it's actually at a great place for it to end. I love to see stories end, and I can't wait to see how he actually decides to end this series. Like, to be completely honest with you.
And then it grows to how we all became the greatest heroes.
So I'm curious to see what he does. I'm like, does he take a break and then come back with My Hero Shippuden? I don't know. Like, does he just come up with a new series? I'd be fine with that too. You know? So
yeah, or if he just want to continue more spin-offs like with Vigilantes, and he just do other spin-offs like in like a flashback, maybe to see the stripes, the star and stripes, and we see her story. I don't mind seeing her story in the US.
Yeah, I would love a spin-off that just takes place in America. I would love that. I don't want any more of like Deku and these characters' story.
I want more Star and Stripe everything. I miss her.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't mind seeing that, or if he wants to do more story about Russia or Europe or other heroes in different countries, I have no problem because it will expand the world. Like, it doesn't only have to be Japan. If he just wants to expand the world of the States heroes, New York, Texas, Las Vegas heroes, like that would be pretty interesting to see what type of different quirks he wants to have.
The only thing about doing a spin-off in America is they'll have to do the same thing that they do with Gaja, or what is Gojo? Yeah, with Gojo, right? Like, they have to kind of like hide him, right? Like, Star and Stripe will have to be like on missions and shit because, I mean, she's just so OP. She would beat everyone. There would never be any real stakes.
She would have been the Superman. She would have been the Superman option.
I mean, she was. Yeah,
she is. Yeah, or it was. Yeah. Was damn.
I mean, if we're talking about like a past series, she is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like they would only ever use her for like top level threats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
she was also like a military person too. Like,
I mean, and they also, it is the U.S. government. They wouldn't let one of their biggest assets just kind of chill out because they weren't going to let her go. They weren't. I mean, like, let's be real. They weren't going to let her go, but she decided to just dip. And so, case in point.
But yeah, how do you have all the students in their serious mode faces? Like, they just mess with my friend. Well, they all had the faces.
Well, not that, because that's literally like the last 2 pages. But I was gonna say, what do you think when Aizawa said, "Hey, can you cover the family's ears?" Well, what do you think that he was telling everyone and the students inside that room?
I mean, whatever the plan is that he has. As far as what the plan actually is, no idea.
I mean, before everything, they're still criminals. Like, villains or not, whatever. They can't be hearing the information of what the heroes need to do. And again, we don't know how All for One hears these information or be able to like track it on that stuff down. Because even if they were to call back the information to All for One, he can tell if they're lying and whatnot. So if they were to discuss a fake plan, and if they were to hear about it and they know about it, All for One's gonna know because they lied about it or something, or they admit something. Like, yeah, it kind of ruins the whole entire plan at all. It's just security purposes, I guess you could say, like cautiousness for everybody within this building.
And almost just said, like, as much as I love Ida and how he spoke up and how he took the stand and like trying to make everyone as equal and as their peer, the most funniest was Baku. He said, "The crap I went through because of him. 5 good blasts on my howitzer should just make us even." He was like, isn't that a little extreme, don't you think? Like, I was like, nah. Like, I feel like that's good, you know, just cause a bit of pain.
Goes consistent.
And we're just even. Like, hey, you caused me pain, let me cause you pain. After that, we're good, my dude. That's it. You know, let bygones be bygones. That's it. So, like, I felt like it worked very well.
I mean, we're not dead, so we're still here. We still see you as a friend. Because they all experience the same emotions and feelings and working together and that sort of thing. And it's just breaking one of the chain from the whole entire group is going to impact everybody. But they don't feel like we're all like, we're not as strong as our weakest chain. We're strong together as a team, as our friends, as a family kind of thing. So if one of us is hurt, we're all hurt. It's more like so we have to support you. We know you did what you have to did. We don't blame you because like we all gave a good reason why we don't blame Ayama because he was in a desperate situation. He's just a victim, but we still want to be there to help you as a friend, even if the detective and the adults need to do what they need to do to prevent criminals, handcuff you, gag you, anything that you can't speak. But as long as you Ayama can still hear his classmates supporting him, being there for him, like a whole team, like a whole family, whole brotherhood kind of thing. Even if Ayama feels guilty himself still, he's not too sure if he can forgive himself, but at least he knows that his class still forgives him. And I think that's a lot for Ayama to take in.
They're friends. Simple as that. They care about him because they're friends. And they also went through a bunch of shit that bonded these kids together. They went through so much.
Real death.
And just like Deku said, look at Nagant, right? Even someone that was so twisted by All For One still was herself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? All For One was just able to manipulate her, much like how he manipulated this family. They're not evil people, but they do need to pay for what they did. So my question for you guys, do you think Aizawa's plan has anything to do with the teleporter, their friend? Do you think they could potentially use him to find All For One's location and
if they were able to get through to him?
Right. Yeah. What then they said they couldn't get through to him after Aizawa and Master Mike were trying to talk to him the first time around. Now he just couldn't reach them again.
I mean, if they were able to, because I know they were also reverse experimenting on Nomu that they captured. If they were able to kind of nullify some of his Nomuification, potentially. Because he basically could go anywhere he needed to. So that would be a one-way ticket into where they are. It's kind of like a surprise attack, which is kind of what
it would make me really happy if they're able to get through to their friend. And if he's able to get revenge against All For One for taking him over, I think that would be nice. But I mean, who knows?
But James, you say that, and it's actually that would be a really, really good way to wrap up Aizawa's story, because Aizawa still has a storyline that doesn't have any closure, and that I feel would give them that closure as characters, him and President Mike, which I think would be great. That'd be lit.
I would love that. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys seeing Ayama being able to deceive All For One, and that because we did come up to the poll he could deceive them, move into a different direction of to different up the plan, but it's gonna be hard at first. But I feel it's gonna be very hard to deceive All For One for once. But at the same time, Ayama needs to do something to give us the heroes the advantage of one way or another.
I think the police should give him a chance to fight against the villains, and then he'll have to serve some kind of time in juvie or whatever. But as far as him or his family being able to deceive All For One, he can't just get off with community service, man. I mean, people were murdered because of the information that he gave the villains.
The only thing that I can see them being helping with them is if they actually were able to capture and sentence All For One, and they kind of basically turn over all the information actually
get a reduced type of
So what I'm thinking, I think this plan has something to do with Toru, because she's their best spy. Something like Toru and him together are actually a pretty ridiculous team if you think about it. But do we know of any hero or anybody with a quirk that can manipulate memories? I don't think there is, but I feel that's
at the moment.
I'm because that'd be wild. What if they just made him forget this, and that they was still they made him forget, but not the parents, and he was supposed to go give the information anyway, and they're they wouldn't know. It wouldn't be a lie. So it's but I wonder how that would work. That'd be interesting.
Not memory. But what if you have a Shinso to go into his mind and confess information or whatnot, but you can't detect if it was a lie or not, because it's you have Shinso in Ayama's head in a sort of way. Can you read both heads, both information to see if it's fake or real?
But that's if class 1A and the teachers want to include.
We know he's coming back somehow, one way or another.
Well, yeah, Shinso is in their class.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him officially enter or with this whole type of situation.
But I mean, you bring up Aizawa, I feel like Shinso's not too far behind.
Right.
That's his boy.
That could be one of his that could be the secret mission that they brought up. So that could be the case.
And Sam, to your point, like, I don't think he would be able to read both of their minds, because with Shinzo's power, all he's doing is giving commands. He's not necessarily connected telepathically or anything. So it's like he could, give a command to, like, forget this, but how long does that work? Like, when does it wear off? What's the distance that it can work? So it's like there's a lot of variables, but not a bad idea.
And by the way,
because we know that Shinso is the Aizawa's replacement kind of thing, but if it can
not his replacement, but his prodigy.
His prodigy. I'm about to say, how can you replace him? He don't have the same quirk, so it's kind of hard to say replace him when he don't have the same quirk.
It's more.
I'm curious. I'm also curious about what this plan is, because they all seemed like super determined. Like they seemed really sure of it.
And shocked too. And like the whole students, even All Might and plus Mike Master was kind of shocked from that plan. But the police guy was like more intrigued, like, interesting plan. So it's more like,
see, that was more of a I can't wait to tell All for One this playing face.
Like, can't wait to spoil the beans out here.
Yeah. But no, yeah, you're right. They look real shocked. So it seems like something that is super risky. Like I think he might have mentioned the name that they were all shocked to hear.
True, it's because the invisible chick even said it will work. Yeah, this will bring him down, and that's when the whole class was very determined with. I think this is one of the best spread of the whole class having like a whole serious face, because even Mineta has a serious face, and I've never seen him having such a serious face. Like my man was ready for war.
True.
I mean, last chapter
at times,
But it was interesting. So yeah, there's the throwaway comment of it all depends on him. And we don't know if that's if they're referring to Aoyama or somebody else, and that's why I kind of take it back to what James said, where it could be their friend that they're talking about, President Mike and Aizawa's friend. Yeah. I think that is what they are. I think that's what they're betting on. To be honest with you,
if you ask me, this is the perfect moment for them to get through to him, because once you're done with All for One, if we're getting into epilogue territory, that's not something you wrap up in the epilogue.
Right.
Like, I feel like it would make sense, especially since we know that they've been reverse engineering the Nomu, and he's essentially a type of Nomu, it would make sense for them to figure it out. He can work with them, get revenge, that would tie up Aizawa's story, and it would all lead into the final climax. I think this is the moment when you do it.
This is also a really good time to use his plot device that he, brought up, but doesn't use very often, Eri. Eri might have been able to help with that, potentially.
That's true. We haven't seen Eri. We haven't seen the other trio.
We do know that she helped Mirio.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. We haven't seen it forever. Which I'm like, let me see my boy. Yeah, how was my boy doing?
We haven't seen Sun Eater in them.
Could she reverse him to the point where he wasn't transformed?
Oh, no. That's the thing about her. Like, he's never really fully delved into her rewind.
The extent,
quirk.
Yeah.
And she's been practicing, she's been training, so we don't know the extent that she knows how to use it either. But still, he's got an incredible plot device in that character.
I feel like Eri has a little bit more. I feel like Eri might actually have a little bit more control now, even though Aizawa didn't need to do stick with her to keep her quirk down and stuff, especially when he has one eye left. Yeah, I think she has more control now. I think it is very possible she can now. But to the point of when you not die, that's a lot of years back.
Yeah, that's a lot of years, man.
Remember, it's based on how long her horn grows too.
Well, I mean, you also have to remember she basically had. If Deku didn't have that quirk, he would have been erased essentially as far back as she found him. So, yeah.
Also, question: if she does use her quirk on our boy that. Didn't he technically die but got reborn? So does he technically, if he does reverse time, does he go back to being dead, or does he just?
So from the way I understand it is that physically whatever has happened to you could be rewound, and so she could, essentially circumvent that death because he's alive now.
Yeah, because he got brought back to life to be used.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, so okay.
Also, like, do we need Aizawa to be in full 100% shape too, having both eyes and his leg again?
You know, it'd be nice, but I'm probably sure he was like, this happened with me doing my job.
It's like I'm getting too old for this, but at the same time, we need something to stop Shigaraki's like quirk and whatnot.
I don't even know, Sam. I don't even know if he has 2 eyes to be used now because he still
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, can Gary give him back turn back time, give him back his eye and leg?
I guess I'm just curious to see where he's going to fit in here.
Yeah, because I don't think Hori's going to use Itari as a plot device to heal everyone. Like, you know,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
It can't be everybody.
Yeah,
it needs to be the essential team
at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have told her, "No, I don't need you to use it on me. I need you to use it on somebody who'll be useful to us."
Right.
Yeah. So, interesting. Yeah, President Mike put up his glasses like, "Holy shit!"
He like, "Damn, you serious? That's the plan?" Like, it's just interesting. And then at the end of the chapter, we just have our boy Ida saying "deja vu" because Boy and Deku are gonna get new suits, and we have our scientist just falling on top of Deku, and he was straight up serious. He knew this was coming
because he's on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Ida and Deku costume upgrades. Yeah,
yes. We've been waiting for this.
So now the new question is,
why is Shoto not there either?
Listen, Shoto got his stuff. All he needs is a temperature regulating suit. He's fine.
Or if he can use that world. If he could use the World Heroes mission suit.
From what I read,
the suit he used right now like help him regulate temperature.
So like he has an updated like school uniform.
Yeah, like
essentially all it is.
Updated. But I would like that he doesn't use the school uniform. Like, yes, okay, use the new regulator thing you have on you, the chest, your back thing, but have an updated suit that doesn't look like you fucking go to school with your gym outfit, my guy.
So, by the way, did we talk about Bakugo's like transition as a character is also like conveyed in his costume now? His gauntlets are much more low profile.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I'm like he's learned a lot, and now he understands his quirk better. He's like, actually, I don't need these big, flashy, loud things. I can still do all that, but like more discreet, more refined. And I'm like, yeah, look at you go.
I love that he found a completely different way to stir up the nitroglycerin that he produces. Like, I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, because I feel like Baku has
and how to disperse it too.
You could still be inspired by All Might because he was always flashy, but you could now be your own hero from what you was inspired by, but you have become your own person.
That's why I'm excited to see Deku's updated costume. I'm like, is it still All Might reminiscent, or has he decided to
do his
take on something for him? Like, I'm really curious.
I think it is more for him because he needs. Maybe he said I need to repair some key equipments. So I'm gonna guess one of them is gonna have to be with the gloves for his black whip, or something.
Definitely,
with
and the boots,
and the boots
for float and for Fujin
fights.
He needs a whole new suit because his whole suit was ripped apart. So he technically needs a whole new suit.
So that's why he said key elements. Because I think he's also thinking about how all of his quirks work now, and how he's best suited to have stuff to help him with that. Because he's Deku's used like a superpowered utility belt at this point.
it's been a while since he had a full entire upgrade too. Like, at least now he's more better experienced. Where, all right, I know how this quirk now. I've kind of mastered this quirk, or like I know how to use it, and a better way to use it is to have this kind of certain equipments for it.
Boy, better not a cape though. Boy better not add a cape with float now and everything.
I don't think he's gonna add a cape because Deku's short.
But he could use Gran Torino's.
Yeah, I hope he uses it more like a scarf, like he's been doing.
Yeah,
a scarf, more like a scarf, a long scarf. I think with a pool on him, but cape.
One thing I would love to see is that there's something integrated into his new suit that allows him to store up like more Fajin.
That'd be wild.
Like, he uses Fajin, stores up kinetic energy, the suit helps, and then he can switch quirks to something else and still use kinetic energy.
That would be something he would learn. That's something he learned from Bakugo, which is completely possible. Because remember, he takes all the stuff his classmates. So
the only thing that I don't think any equipment can help is for the danger sense. I don't see.
You don't need anything for that.
Yeah, there's nothing for that. That's fine.
You don't need it.
It's just really the Black Whip, the float, Fujin.
I would hope that he would have something to help him like move around or redirect and like use to his advantage. Smoke screen.
Right.
Like, doesn't he have smoke screen as the fourth quirk?
No, I'm saying like something to like help him like use it better. Like, because now it just works as like a distraction, a cover up element. I want him to be able to like focus that smoke and use it in different ways. Kind of like Smoker for real.
Like only have the smoke covering whatever he wants. However he would be able to do that.
Or move it in and around people to protect them or obscure them from vision.
What if it's to like put them in like cartridges, so like just use literally the whole Batman thing, literally just smoke bombs everywhere, whatnot and stuff like that at least. Yeah. That means like every time he generates them, just put them into the capsules and like use it anytime he needs it to.
What's funny, I just noticed in page 14 when the boom happens, our boy Deku looks at Ida. He's like, I see it happening.
Like,
he saw this coming. I knew this was gonna happen. Don't worry.
He's like, don't worry. I knew this was about to happen.
And then his face just looked again serious, just looking at her like,
I think that's one of my favorite Deku faces we've had.
Right?
It's so good. He's like, see, I told you.
It's just boy looks at Ida. He's like, I know it's coming. I know the boom.
I know we're trying to help my friend.
It's so good. Oh, I love the story. Like, this story's been a lot of fun, and it also it's just really well done. Like, I tell people all the time, My Hero is a very well done story. Like, characters, plot, all of it.
Plus, it's just fun.
Titties is not going to distract me from what I need to do.
Right?
And plus, it's just fun to break down the series. Like, it's fun to break it down as a whole. And if you're wrong or you're right, it doesn't feel like you just did a bad type of theory. It looks like, okay, the writer is doing a better job than myself. So I feel like that is a great job for the series. That there's entertaining aspect when you break it down with your friends and everything. So I feel like that's the most important part of the series, is just to have fun with it.
I mean, and I feel like I hope that's what people like get out of this. I'm sure that Horikoshi, like most people who create things, just want people to enjoy it. You know? Yeah. Like, he wouldn't be making it if he didn't want people to enjoy it, right? You know? So I'm like, I'm having a blast with this. And I'm really curious to see what happens with Aoyama now. Because, like, he's, like, on the verge of losing everything, which is super shitty, because he's done the work to deserve what he has, but also deserves what is happening to him, in a sense, which sucks.
I mean, I definitely see him going in the right direction in the end to help his classmates, because those are the people that always supported and trusted him. And he doesn't want to let them down, even if he has to like fake villain a little bit or something like that. He will never like turn them down if they were to like give out their hands for him.
No, that boy is their friend. He's gonna do everything he can now to like repent. To help them.
He's not bad at all. You also have to think like he's just a kid, and he thinks, I mean, not that he thinks, but he is protecting his parents, because if he doesn't do this, they all die. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's an evil bone in his body, but he's doing what he has to do to protect his family. Like, he feels like he doesn't have a choice, right? But now he's being reminded that you do have a choice. Like, you can come to us for help. We can help you with this. We can protect your family. So he's definitely going to help in any way that he can. And I'm excited to see him get that chance.
Same. And I'm like, how is he going to, like, will we finally get to see, like, a serious Aoyama, you know? Because he's always been kind of whimsical and, like, kind of carefree seeming.
That
so
is
I'm
true.
like,
I'm just to see his true personality, like, when he's not hiding his feelings, when he's not hiding, trying to be getting information. Like, I wonder, after the classmates, after this war, I wonder whoever makes it out, I wonder when the students hang out together and have another dinner or party, like another festival that they might do. I wonder if Aoyama, how are they gonna hang out as a group together? What are the different type of dynamics there's gonna be? Like, who is he gonna be now?
So do y'all think that Aoyama will be there for the final confrontation with All For One?
I really hope so. Honestly,
I think so
really
too.
So.
I see it happening.
I can see it happening, but I can also see him getting his quirk yoinked away.
I mean, he was already born quirkless, and at least he used the best out of it. Even though like this quirk was not compatible with his body, he did the best he can with that for years.
Who did he get that quirk from?
Right?
And like All For One's like, yo, this quirk was just useless. You know, I kind of feel like it's someone
who had this quirk originally.
Yeah, like the person who originally had it did not like it or whatnot, or just did not like
I can see
care about it
like,
at all, and just
he was like, "Hey, yo, man, this sucks. I don't want this." It's like, all right,
you want something else?
Then this poor kid who had no choice gets this shitty quirk.
It's like naval
like,
laser.
really?
That seems useful.
Oh,
It's like if you really think
oh,
about
oh,
it,
you're
like,
not grateful for the quirk you get? I could just kill you.
Like who chose a laser out of his stomach and then it makes you shit.
Well,
I guess when
it wasn't built for you, yeah, that's what it does because it's coming out of your navel. Yeah.
But I guess if you're quirkless, I mean, you can't be choosy and whatnot, and especially like whatever society, you get what you get kind of thing. It sucks. Because All For One was like, yeah, you can take it. That's me. I don't need this.
I mean, remember some people's quirks made them ugly, and he was like, All For One, take this from me, bro. I don't want to be ugly no more.
And then you have one where I want to have powers. I want to defend my store kind of thing. And then like he turns into that ugly monster kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they both work for.
That was also tactical. All For One would not give him a quirk that's too powerful for him to go to UA and then try to betray him, So just like, yeah, take this. You got a laser.
Take this random useless quirk.
this laser that will make you throw up right afterwards.
Oh man. But I don't know. Huh. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Horikoshi could do now that I would just be like, you know what? No, that makes sense.
They could definitely study more. Like we said, they could study more because we already know we have heroes who got quirks got taken, and now we have heroes who got fake other different quirks now. I guess they could do more studying of how to revert back, switch quirks.
I don't know. I feel like they're going to keep that to All For One because that's an All For One thing. You know what I'm saying? If anybody on the other team could do it, it'd be like, okay, that's kind of whack.
The doctor would know how to do that too, no? Or he just makes copies.
So, he just makes the copies available for All For One to like use like a library. But I guess I'm curious to see what quirk survives because I'm sure he's going to replace the quirks that he lost. But what's he going to replace them with is my question.
Right.
But I think more importantly now, I kind of like, okay, let's ignore all this stuff. Let's wrap up this Toya, Dabi, Endeavor, Todoroki thing. I want that to get wrapped up.
When do we get to that too?
Because I'm like, please don't let that happen at the same time. Please.
I want that. I want it to be its own arc, not
same.
And not happening side by side. I want it to be its own arc.
I mean, what I'm assuming is he's gonna.
Or say meanwhile, while this is happening, and
if I was writing this, I would assume that they would try and like make a full frontal, like a full force assault on us, and so I would have them call to services in different places, so that way they have to split up their forces. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'd be like,
I was thinking they could do this just like this arc of Black Clover right now. Like it can take place during the final battle, but Shoto and Endeavor, they're fighting Dabi on one part of this battle, and then Deku, a couple other members of Class 1A fighting Shigaraki, because we still have to think about the Liberation members that are still free. There's still people that broke out of Tartarus that are still free. So the final battle will take place on multiple fronts. So you could do it simultaneously and just kind of bounce back and forth.
Do you?
I definitely can't see the. So go for it. I was gonna say I could see the remaining of the classroom of Class 1A to handle the liberation crowd themselves, while like Endeavor and Todoroki handles with Dabi.
And the other school too.
Uraka handles.
You guys remember what the other school? The name of the other school?
Yeah, where Earthquake Boy
the guy with like the wind quirk and like.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen that kid
too.
Oh yeah, they could.
So that's what I was gonna bring up. Is like there's other students we have met from other schools that we haven't seen them in a long time, and that Horde could include them to help against the Liberation Army. Since technically it's not just UA in the district of Tokyo or wherever they are again, I forgot.
They do need
but the whole Japan country is taking.
Yeah, so I mean, because if you think about it, if I was All For One, I would if I knew they were coming with everything they had, I would pull all my forces back to be where we are to kind of like make a final stand. So that way they could send all those
friends
schools
all over the world.
Exactly. So like I would pull them like, nope, all right, they want to come here, we can crush them all at the same time. So I'm gonna get everybody I need. But I also foresee some of the army flipping. I do.
I think?
Yes, I see some of them flipping because they're like, "Hey, bro, we just want to be able to use our quirks. You just out here trying to murder, like, and destroy everything. That's not what we want." So I feel like because I mean, that's all they really wanted. They wanted to be able to use their quirks as people in a society, like to defend themselves, to take care of their own things. They don't want everything to get destroyed. Like, Why would they? You know, it's like, hey, my family's out here too. Like, they might have killed some of their family members and be like, hey, hold up. Well, this wasn't part of the deal. So I can see some of them flipping, especially like Ice Boy. I don't remember his name now. But he had the real strong ice quirk.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah. Getten.
I think Getten. Yeah,
Getten.
But my question for you guys was, for the fight with Shoto, do you think anybody would help support Shoto? So with Baku, his support is gonna be Kirishima and then plus a couple other people. Do you
his
think
support's
Shoto
gonna be his family?
It's his family.
Is his family?
Yeah.
Like
his siblings
and his cousin Getten.
Because that's part of the family of his mom, and we all say that, and I still stand by that.
We'll see, but that would be hilarious. It's like, hey, yo, I was like, Auntie, what you doing here? What you mean? Oh man, that'd be good.
Like, cousin, why you over here? Remember, I got arranged marriage and everything.
That would be very interesting. We'll see. But no, I actually really like the Todoroki arc a lot, and I would like to see that wrapped up. You know, I just really would. So. Thought it was one of those stories that I didn't expect to like as much as I did, but I really did. I enjoyed the story of Endeavor and Todoroki and them and figuring out, like, and seeing their like really like weirdly busted family dynamic and how they're trying to rebuild it. Is super interesting. So more of that. I just want to see that finished.
Yeah, and I want to see what their relationship is going to be like after this, because it's like, just because they come together to help Toya or kill him.
Right.
Who knows if that's going to be the thing that can fix the family? Is it too broken? So I want to see how Horikoshi's going to explore that. Same,
because I feel like that's actually really tough to like finalize, honestly. So I'll be honest, it's like I don't really know what they're gonna do with Toga. I'm sure somehow he'll make it impactful, but I'm kind of like
it's still within, like, she's still gonna have to meet Uraka one more time.
Well, she's got to meet Deku. She hasn't seen Deku since.
Yeah. That too.
But when?
Yeah, but when?
I mean? Like,
yeah, because she still has to ask him the question of what makes a hero. So
or maybe she's already made up her mind. You know what I'm saying? She could have made up her mind after that one conversation with Uraraka, and it's like, nope, y'all don't want to save us. You want to kill us. So I'm gonna do what you did to my friend twice. Simple as that.
True. So
man,
it could be for either or.
I miss him,
man. He's been gone for a while. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Twice is a tragedy, honestly, because he
Seriously.
needed help. He needed help. I don't think Twice was a bad person, but I mean, it's just like, look at the people he was around. He saw them as friends, not
because they
just
treated him
villains,
like a
you know what I
friend.
mean?
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, it's just a tragedy, you know, that he had to die because he was just too powerful, and we couldn't find a way to help him in that moment. It really sucks.
It does suck, but I feel like that's the like peril that Hawks is in. He's like, I wanted to help him, I really did, but in the end, I couldn't. So it's like, oof, that sucks.
I'm curious to know where Hawks in his story, in his situation, is going to end as well. Like, where's his nail in the coffin going to be?
Does he get his wings back? That's all I care about.
Does he get his wings back? And I think he should end the series as the new head of the
Hero Association. Yep.
The Hero Association. Thank you.
And,
I agree.
And plus making it better. So I can't wait to see that.
Yes.
Him and Nagant, actually. I would love to see them run it. Because they know all of the worst parts about the organization, and they can make it better and make it, you know, good going forward. So I think
agreed. Hard agree on that. That would be really, that would be like a nice, like, yeah, y'all go type situation. That'd be great. I'd love that. But I guess we should talk about JJK at some point. LOL.
I guess.
So with all of that, I hear discussion. Let's jump into our JJK discussion of chapter 169, the last chapter of 2021, and the last chapter of this year. So how are we feeling about it?
Look,
I thought this chapter was cool. You know, like it wasn't as interesting to me as like the last like couple of chapters, you know, but I thought this was cool. Like you know, I'm ready for what comes after this, you know? Like I thought it was a pretty quick read. Everything that happened to it was just kind of set up for what comes next, and I kind of just felt like I just want to get there, you know?
Yeah, cuz like when it came to Yuji Higuruma, we have so much character, like the back for Higuruma himself, the backstory, the experience, how his curse technique works, what's going on through his head at this moment, and like how he's relatable with Yuji. And then when it comes to the comedian, he just wants to be out there to be like a superhero clown kind of thing, and it works. Like when he sees like a disadvantage or in need, he just goes in and helps them. And his curse technique is very interesting. The 70-30, he took the blows, and then something about 30% input, 70% output is what this technique is. It's still up in the air in question.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if Gege wanted us to fully know about his curse technique, he would have like wrote the information of how his curse technique works, how with this and this does. But like, I guess like we'll see him later. This is just your one chapter taste of what he can do, what he's like, and what he's capable of. And even Fushiguro is like, yeah, I don't want to be this guy's enemy.
Mm-hmm.
He's capable of giving 1,000 years of pain. that's some painful shit.
That was for that guy. He'll never walk the same or at all. But that's on him. So by the way, I'm curious to see what other people thought. So do y'all think that this dude blew himself up, or that when he got kicked that he basically just kind of popped?
That's what I thought. I thought like he kicked him and then he blew himself up, because his body parts is what blows up, right? Whenever he like take off a body parts and like he just throws it.
Well, I mean, because I remember we saw him like bite his arm, and I'm like, maybe that's what it was. Like he was turning his arm into one, which would have been a bigger one, but it didn't work. He got bopped before it could actually go off, and it ended up blowing him up.
It is a strange curse technique. Like, I'll just
weird.
pop out my eye and use it as an explosion.
Yep. It's like,
and
man, that's some ultimate reality. Ultimate reality Bakugo right there. But no, that color page was clean. The color page at the start was gorgeous. I'm like, I had never drawn that comparison, but no, it makes sense now that you see it. But no, I'm actually ready to get back to Yuta. I want to see more Yuta, like for real. But before we move on, so our boy Megumi said something interesting. He's like, I'm done with this colony. So how is he gonna get to the next one?
Good question.
He's like, I'm done here, but I'm like, okay, so you're done there. So how you gonna get to another one? Like, can he just be asked to sit to another one? I don't know how that works.
What if he makes a rule? Maybe
I was about to say, what if that's the rule he makes by getting the points that he gets from these guys?
But they didn't really transfer the points. He just kills them. So I guess there's no points in it if you just regularly kill them. Right?
I mean, so because didn't he say something about he wanted to get his points before he killed him?
Yeah. But unfortunately, he killed him, right? Or he killed himself.
Yeah.
So, and like they have to be a person has to be willing to offer up their points to another person
transfer
too.
Points,
yeah. And it doesn't seem like they're gonna be like people that you can negotiate with or to interrogate to. So I think at this point there was no other choice but to like, if you don't give me a points, dead. It's just I'll get the 5 points from you, go after another 19 more people just to rack up the 100 points to make up the new rule.
Did we see how many points this entertainer dude has? Do we know?
He has 0. He had 0 last chapter.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Well, he probably got some now if it counts that he got that other guy.
I mean, it didn't really give him like he gains 5 points pop-up thing.
I mean, so does it pop up instantly?
Yeah, it did when it came to Fushiguro. Like when he killed the other dude, like 5 points added to Fushiguro, like automatically.
I guess I'm just curious to see like if that can be a delay. If there is a sort of delay that they could have, where it's like, oh yeah, we're done now.
Also, like how Megumi saw this guy, like he reminds me of somebody. He reminds me of Toji.
By the way, I think that Reggie gives Fushiguro his points as like a way to spare him, and then Fushiguro's like, nah, you're dead, and kills him anyway. I think that's how that's gonna end.
Probably.
I really do think that's how that's gonna happen. He's like, oh, don't kill me. I'll give you all my points, and he does, and then Fushiguro's like, okay, thanks. Yeet.
Appreciate it.
He's just an entertainer. So I mean, The entire one-page spread from page 8 to 9 got that drop kick, and then the hard impact too.
Dude's jokes are so terrible too, but they're so terrible they're funny.
So I was wondering, I'm like, if like, so say we were talking about the 70-30, so it's like if you laugh at the joke, you get the 70 and he gets the 30, and so that's why he makes terrible jokes.
I don't know.
Maybe
that would be funny
because I remember the conversation he had with his coworkers saying like, "Are you the 50% of people who believes that they're funny, or are you the 50% of people thinks that you're funny?" And it's like, I'm always 70-30. I think it's more like I am 70% think that I'm funny, but 30% that other people don't think I'm funny. I guess he never found that dirty. He's just trying to find the 30% of people who find him funny
and be my Wi-Fi.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if they don't laugh at the joke, he retains his 70, but if they laugh at it, he gets 30.
That would be a really cool twist. Yeah.
So that's what I think he's gonna purposely continue to make terrible jokes. And then Yuji's gonna laugh at one of the stupid ones. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I can totally see that happening. Man, but no, I like this character. I really do. He's goofy. Like, he's a goofy dude, but I'm like, this is kind of what I need in JJK sometimes.
I was just gonna say, like, he's a nice contrast to everyone else, you know,
to everything going on. Literally, I'm like, I like this kind of goofiness.
He also has that upper body strength too. Like, man has been standing like that with his hands up in his neck or head. I think he's been doing a street performance.
That boy's strong.
He's really fast too.
You see how he drop kicked that boy. He drop kicked him through a building. Oh man, he wasn't ready. So I'm like, and then this character, he's hilarious. I'm like, for real, like, this character is hilarious because his face. If you look at his face during the drop kick, he's so serious.
Yeah.
And then when like he just instantly get next to Megumi, he's like, "All right, so how should we split them up? The curse technique involves in exploding parts. The other guy is like the whole discussing our plans. Like, bro, chill back, get back. It's a lot of input, a lot of speed. This guy has both the physical and speed of everything."
He reminds me of like a Deadpool character, which is why I like it. I think.
Yeah.
Man. So I'm just I guess now. So now that we're kind of getting past all that. What's Receipt Boy do? What like why? What is Receipt Boy's thing that he's so strong?
Yeah, like what is his curse technique? Like what's the deal?
I mean, because we saw him take a receipt, toss it, and it turned into gasoline. But like, was it a receipt for gasoline? Is that why it turned into gasoline? I don't know. I'm like, so maybe he just is like, if I'm a theory craft here, it's like whatever is written on some paper that's on his body is what it becomes. Like he like, it's like, oh, I wrote gasoline on this, so I can throw some gasoline. Or it's like, oh, I wrote like, you know, some random like gun on this one. So look, now I got a gun. Who knows? It
like
just seems
sword,
weird.
Does it turn the receipt into like you know, something sharp like a sword? I don't know.
Because what was it? Last time we like the first time we saw him, he had that invincible tag, right? Or was it just was that a tattoo? I don't remember. Was that the same person?
I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it the same?
That was
I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Because he didn't have any of them on him at that point, right? They were just around him, if I remember correctly. Now I want to like actually go back and look.
Yeah, because
that'll explain some stuff for me.
He also used knives on the demon dog. Interesting.
He did.
I also forgot. We also have Panda and what's his face is another team that got put into the colonies. Remember? So I'm like, where they at? Huh?
It seems like everybody gets split up no matter where you go. But I guess the next plan would be like if the best way to go to a colony is to make a rule for it. I guess
that's right. Yeah. So it's Panda and Hikari also joined the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the hell they at?
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's like, could phase 1 be all right? Form a rule that allows you to transfer points. Then like maybe like a second rule where okay, we can compile points and then make another rule to use points to be able to transfer between colonies.
Right.
Potentially.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were trying to get your team back together, that would make sense. Yeah. Like if you went in as a team So
better your odds too.
They're also helping their enemies, but yeah. Could you imagine all of them like ganging up on them? Oh man, it'd be a bad time, but that'd be a great fight.
Oh yeah,
especially if Panda's at full strength now, bro. Panda's nuts. Can't wait to see how that goes.
I can actually see him laughing at jokes, maybe.
Oh no,
he might be the one laughing at jokes.
You're right. Oh god,
because he also makes Panda jokes himself. So
this is true. Oh yeah, I'm also curious about the 400-year-old dude too. Straight up, like
yeah,
there's some options for some really cool curse techniques to come out of this. Like I feel like we can get some pretty hype fights going forward. Like once we get rid of the fodder, I feel like we get some real good fights.
Fodder.
Oh boy.
Oh, and plus I'm back. I don't know what I missed, but yeah.
You missed a lot.
Yeah.
I was gone for a good almost. Oh no, I was gone for 10 minutes. Wow, damn.
Yeah,
but
so
no.
What are your thoughts on this chapter?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on JJK?
My thoughts on this chapter, it was great. I love it. Made me question more of certain characters because one of the first questions I asked, what era are you from? So that was very curious to know when that was the first question they wanted to know if they were from this era or were they part of the Culling games from 1,000 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago. So that made me question, like, okay, so it seems like these characters already know that some of these people are not from this present era, and some of these characters know that other people are from the, like, from 1,000 years ago, part of the Culling games. So that was very curious to know. So I love that little small snippet. And the character itself, that he just wants to make jokes, and the 1,000 years of pain, that's painful as hell. Like my boy Kakashi, it's just literally just came through and literally just caused this pain, and he literally did like a whole suicide because he technically bombed himself, even though it's not confirmed, is it? Because it didn't show the points to him, right?
No,
it didn't show the points yet. You're right.
Yeah, so it's not confirmed that the bomb guy's dead yet, and I just love how Abe Megumi said that he's playing very serious now since his goal for this colony it got accomplished already. So for him, it don't matter what he does next because he already got the goal accomplished because of Yuji. So I just love how with this chapter it literally moved the plot along, but also it moved the character story along as well.
I mean, he can all Fushigumi needs to do is just probably collect some points if he wanted to. Just if he has enough, just to make a new law in case of situations where some new law or something changed. He can at least think this through, and at least he can make a new law just in case afterwards. Especially and also as kill any threats that comes after them. Like, he can really do anything he needs to, and he doesn't hesitate to kill if he wants. Like, it doesn't seem like the Paperboy is willing to team up with them anytime soon. So I guess he's the next person to get killed.
So quick question for y'all. And this is just about the Culling game as a whole. So you know how we getting questions about people from different eras?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because at the end of the last Culling game, they didn't win or lose, and so they got trapped in the Culling game space until the next one started? I'm like, how did these people get here? Is my question. Did they answer that for us? Like, chat, help me out. Because I was racking my brain. I'm like, why are these old ass people here? How did they get here?
Yeah, dude.
Well,
that's a really interesting theory.
I'm because like remember like the 4 nature curses that just came to be because of human hate and doubt and all that other stuff, and they're able to come back every other 180 or 100 years because this continuing pollution and hate keeps coming in from humans. I guess maybe that these curses or just comes back because of human hatred or their emotions that developed them.
What else happened that all these people showed up? I'm like, was there something at the end of Shibuya that I don't remember?
I mean, like what though?
Yeah, because I'm like, because I think it's weird. It's like all of a sudden we were just like, yeah, these people who are from different eras are just here, and I'm like, wait a minute, how?
Yeah, the more I think about it, Ray, like that's a really interesting theory.
Have they just been alive this entire time?
Yeah, what if they've been stuck this whole time, and there has to be a winner of the Culling game in order for everyone to get out?
Yeah.
Maybe
because the other one didn't finish, right?
Yeah, it never finished.
now makes me wonder, like, is the cutting games actually a good beneficial instead of actually hurting Japan and hurting the people around it? This is actually good to kill the old 400,000 years old of people that are part of this cutting game, is to actually get rid of them.
Man, I gotta go back and read some stuff because now I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because
I'm looking back through a couple chapters right now. I'm like, that's very interesting.
We don't know where they get here. We don't know what they're coming from, but we have the pseudo Gedo just collecting them to make an army using them for his.
So yeah, Kenjaku made pacts with them, but does that mean that they have been alive for 1,000 years, or they only show up when he needed them,
or they just got resurrected during the cutting games because they
because that was part of the pack.
And plus, Kenjaku made the pact, but is it because he made a pact? Like, we don't know what was the reason. He made the pact with his curses, but did he make this pact because these curses was too powerful and he needs to get rid of them?
That's a good place for me to start, though. Thank you.
But he ain't strong enough. Is that why he wanted to make this pact, so he could get rid of these curses down the line?
I think it's more. He more likely recruits them because he seems like he wants to have a whole army of curse techniques, powerful curse technique people. But we don't know, like, why does he want an army or why does he need one? We don't know if there's an even bigger threat than him, or he just wants to be in control of world conquest. I just want to be partnership with everybody else, have all these connections. They can't do anything without me, and since I'm the center of connection for everybody, they can put me as the top. But it doesn't seem like it's that simple. Like, Kenjaku doesn't seem like he's the kind of person that wants full ownership of everybody. He seems,
and yes, Akuna was one of them because that's why Aoyuji was already part of the cutting games without him knowing that he was part of it. So he is already one of.
So could it be Kenjaku planting all these seeds? If that's how all the other curses came to be living after all these time? He was just finding hosts for them.
Maybe. I'm gonna find this out because I really want to know.
Because
if it's something they haven't explained yet, that's fine.
Because creating the culling games help develop new curse sorcerers, right? Because the curse techniques develops during that time. And I guess it's like that also technically helps pinpoint new host bodies. Okay, cool. My experiment with this one worked out. Now, like, this
also a good point.
Different era of curse can take care of this body and he can participate in the culling game. I gave Sukuna a new host body because of UG. So that's good. That's there. I trapped Gojo so that he doesn't interfere and kills these old techniques, old curses technique that I've taken possessions of. There's a lot of planning that Kenjaku have made. It's just that nothing is really, not much was revealed throughout his entire plan of anything. Just a setup of culling games, a setup of I've been planting seeds, and some small reviews of other people of my experiments on. And that's really it. We don't have the full picture of his entire plan, just bits and pieces.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm this will be something I look up because I really want to know now. Like what was like how and why. Like maybe it was as simple as they have just been alive for 1,000 years. But like I'm like maybe they literally could not do anything until the culling game started again.
Yeah, it's like, does the pact keep them alive until they've served whatever purpose they're supposed to serve? Like, very interesting.
I gotta find this out. So yeah, I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna put a pin in it and come back to it.
And it's also like, why would they agree to Kenjaku as well? Like, why would they agree with the plan of him and stuff like too? That's another thing as well. Because everybody seems so prideful.
Didn't they say because most of them just wanted to fight?
Yeah, like that could be a lot of the motivation too.
Yeah. Okay. Kenjaku mentions it in the last 2 chapters of Boku. Thank you.
And I think the last chapter of Shibuya, I think, was like 120, somewhere around there, like 118.
Something about that. So
around there.
But yeah, I have some research because I just want to answer that question for myself. It's like, where y'all come from? So, because I mean, a bunch of random people did show up at the end of Shibuya, like just randomly. So, it's probably just time to reread Shibuya anyway. So,
and there's still a lot we can still pick up. And it doesn't feel like a whole entire year since Shibuya arc ended too.
No,
it really did not feel like a whole year.
Trying to see.
But yeah, coming back into like the thoughts of this chapter, it was good. I think it was a lot of good comedy relief. Our comedian guy, he loves variety shows, so he does all these like pranks and tricks and all the stuff that you would see like in like Japanese comedy shows, variety shows, TV shows, comedians and that stuff like that. And then he leaves like he's like Skeletor that's leaving him off the screen kind of thing. It's like until we meet again.
But no, I enjoyed this chapter. This chapter was good, but somehow I had a whole bunch of questions more than answers, of course. So,
but yeah, I thought this chapter was a nice like contrast. Like it was nice to get like some fun moments in here. Like this dude was cracking me up, man.
Oh yeah, he was funny. Like he
marry me and be my wife, Fi.
He made me laugh at that. Like
it's so ridiculous.
I was reading it while Ray and Sam was here, and I actually chuckled like, oh, that was actually funny. Like I actually chuckled like, oh,
it's
like,
so terrible. It's funny.
Like no lie, I'm gonna use this line later in my when I go in the car with my girl. I'm gonna use this line and see if my girl chuckles or not.
She won't.
No.
If she does, it's just because she loves you.
Yes.
She will probably laugh just because she does love me, but I'm gonna see if she actually laughs because of joke. Because I think the joke is actually kind of funny to some extent. Like it's just that 1-2
so
second
terrible.
jab.
It's bad, bro.
If you Google dad joke, this should be one of them.
This is a dad joke. I was gonna say like this is classified. This is classified as a dad joke.
His picture shows up. Like, yep, there he is.
Let me see real quick.
So actually, me.
Hey babe.
Okay.
Oh God, he's gonna do it now.
Oh no.
Hey babe, can you come here real quick? Do you want to ask you a question?
Oh no.
Chat, you're seeing this live.
Oh boy, you about to see Vash die alive on
Will you
stream?
marry me and be my Wi-Fi?
No.
What?
Oh!
Well,
Damn!
rest in peace, Vash. I'll miss you. Somebody start playing in the arms of an angel.
Or play the Naruto sad music.
Right?
I mean, it's appropriate, especially when the whole 1,000 years of pain.
Oh my god.
Hey, that was funny. You just got me. Life just be hitting you with some truths out there.
I mean, it's okay. You'll be fine.
It's
you'll survive.
chapters 135 and 136. They gave it in the comments.
I was looking through that. Yeah.
By the way, is the sword that Megumi has in his hand the same sword that Mai gave her? Gave him? Remember she had only one weapon and she gave it to Fushigumi?
Yeah, one of the heavenly whatever weapons. Yeah. I don't know.
Because he didn't really had that before.
Remember, he could store stuff though.
Yeah, exactly.
In his little shadow realm. So maybe.
But yeah, he finally gets serious without holding back. Definitely we'll have to see until next year.
Yeah. Man.
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good too.
Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts on the chapter itself. Like I thought it was good. I'm just ready to see what comes next. Like this was a nice, fun chapter. Ready to see what happens.
Ugh.
It's just well written for this chapter, and like this arc is just building slowly for what it is becoming to the Conan games into much of the grander scale. And like what Ray brought up, it just makes you ask more questions of things that we didn't get the answers for before. But then it makes us really like, wait, hold on a minute, what the fuck? There's a couple things you left out, my guy. So it just makes you like, yo, Gedge, you're leaving some key points out. We want to know
on purpose.
Yeah,
on purpose. But it's been nice talking with the ghost of Vash. This has been good. I ain't never seen anybody get murdered live on stream before, so that was wild.
Hey, I'm glad I could give the comedy out there. But
I mean, if y'all want to, acknowledge Black Clover at least before we go.
Yeah, all right, sure, why not?
I'm gonna give you that 2-minute conversation about Black Clover. Black Clover was fun because shot the spear, boom, shot the spear, awesome.
I
and
mean,
then looking for a fully came out say yo, yeah, bitches go down your feet and knees to the floor. That's it.
I mean, it's nice to finally see a really, 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 really powerful character. It was like, because remember we said, we were like, man, we really hope that this Lucifer thing isn't like another giant monster fight, and thank God it's not going to be that way. It's like, okay,
like I think we're going to be so surprised by how powerful he is when he's only half manifested.
So I guess I'm ready to watch this fight, and how are they gonna fight? Because Megicula was just chilling there. Did nobody know, was that Megicula or not?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Was that her or just some other supreme devil? Because I'm like, she was just literally chilling. Well, like, hey, yo, he ain't done.
Well, Noct did say that was a supreme devil. He didn't say it was. Like, so just said Megicula.
So that just,
but that looked like her.
Kinda.
Yeah, like it looked like her. It's just, but then it's supreme devil from the second level, so we don't know if that's really her.
Oh, say thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I thought.
But from last chapter, real quick, just something that I loved was the demon slasher infinite slash Equinox. Yes. Like that was just so amazing to see him like kind of take something from Yami using his sword to do that. And then you know I always live for those moments between Yuno and Asta. You know those moments between them. I love those moments.
It's just like, you know, how they're like always trying to one up each other. It's always fun to see.
And plus, it's just cool to see Asta in the last panel, just seeing his face total shitless, because he's like, what the hell? Who's the hell's next to me? I didn't see him pop up. And just a little bit, and I'm just curious to see the reaction of next week's chapter whenever it's in the next 2 weeks, because it's going to be very interesting to see what.
It was great to see Patry saving William. Like that was great to see him catching William,
and even seeing, Langers, I think Langers, that's the name.
Langers, yeah.
Saying that, he just stole the best part. Because they're like, hey, that was my job to grab my captain. You're like, hey, that was my job, but you just took that. Thank you, bitch. So, like, that was dope. And then Yami said, good work, you idiots. Like, this was a cute chapter. But it's like, breaking down my hero for a good almost 45 minutes and JJK for a good almost 25 or 20 minutes. But then Black Clover doesn't feel like those type of chapters to break down. It's just cool for this hype moments and just discuss for 5 minutes. Like, yeah, it was cool to see some actually Supreme Devil come out and tell everyone to just sit their ass down. That's
also, Lucifero does look
old as fuck,
evil, and I'm like,
yeah, I love the design.
He looks truly evil, and Oster shook. You can see it in his face. He's like, well, this ain't good.
Yeah, he couldn't sense his ki. Nothing. Exactly, he was just nothing. There.
Yep. Oh man, this is gonna be wild. But yeah, I'm excited for the fight, because like this is going to be what I was wanting the entire time. I think like this is exactly what I was hoping for. It's just that it's weird that he's coming out of a big old booty hole. You know, so that's what it looked like.
Well, it is an exit.
You're right. Oh,
it is.
Yeah, I read this chapter. I read super quick, and I mean, like, you know, sometimes it'd be like this. What was it? This was like what, a 10-page chapter, if that.
Yeah, like
no.
I read this chapter so fast. It's just
13. No, 16. Technically,
it says 16. Yeah,
it says 16. But yeah,
but I love the double spread of, like, you know, him doing the presence of the Demon King and everything's been wiped out. Yeah,
his art is so good. I love it.
Especially on page 10, where we get to see like the silhouette of Lucifero before he perfectly forms. Like, it looks so good, man.
Like I said, I love his art. His art's fantastic. And it's like, you know, sometimes it's just like, yeah, you just keep showing me what you can do, because it looks great every single time.
It does. And like, I get it, people's opinion, and plus it's subjective or objective. But when the comments say this Black Clover chapter was better than the My Hero chapter, I was like, pause, what? So
I mean, you can feel however you want to feel.
It is subjective.
Yeah,
true.
If that's what you thought, that's perfectly fine.
Because, I mean, there are some big moments in here. Like, it goes by pretty quickly, but there are some big moments. Like, the team is actually together again with their captain and their co-captain, William safe. You know what I mean? So it's like, now they're all together and they can fight together against the big bad, which is Lucifero.
Exactly. So it's like, now they're all prepared for this ridiculous fight they're about to have. So, it's about to be wild. The elves are here. Everybody's here. So it's like, okay, that means it's really about to go down.
Yeah, because I will say, after I read this chapter, I was like, man, I just want to watch Black Clover now. I just want to start from the beginning and just watch the whole thing because I live for these moments.
I want the anime to come back. A lot of this stuff's gonna look real good animated. Like,
hell
for
yeah.
real. Please.
They just released the second image of the visual for the movie.
It's just I'm sorry to say it, but it's just That's it. It's just straight up. Just I don't give a fuck. It's just That's it. Like, if it was something more like the villain or the main cast who's gonna be in it, or a plot of what the story's gonna be, cool. But it's just literally an Asta and if you put both pictures side by side, it's literally Asta and together.
Man.
I mean, that is what the story's about, their duality,
Yes.
But then that's the Black Clover discussion of chapter 317 or what?
I think 317.
All right, so this is. Do we want to still do our best chapter of the week, since we just read 3 chapters, or want to skip that segment and just go ahead?
I mean, my favorite was definitely JJK.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, I like this comedian dude. He's great. I mean, and also it's just the fact that it gave me so many more questions that I was asking myself. I was like, okay, well, how does this curse technique work? Like, what is Megumi gonna actually try and kill this dude, or is he just like saying that because he's like, well, whatever, I can do whatever I want now because Yuji was successful. I'm like, I gotta know. Yeah. I'm curious.
My chapter of the week is My Hero. I had those only 3 I've read, so it's definitely My Hero. It's entertaining, and it gives you more questions of what, and knowing the information we found out with this weekend that is gonna end within a year. So I am definitely intrigued of what is going to be coming in the next couple of months, in the next couple of chapters that is going to be coming out of the first quarter of the year. So I can't wait.
Yeah, for me, chapter of the week out of the 3 that I read would be My Hero. Just these moments with the class all together and Oyama feeling like he is a despicable villain, but yet all of his friends around him are still trying to comfort him, and realizes that he was just being used and we're still here to help you. We're not going to shun you and just lock you away. Like that kind of stuff is really important to me, because this is what heroes do. It's not about the punching. It's not about the incredible powers. A hero's duty is to see someone in need and help them. So anytime I get chapters like that, they really, really speak to me, and those are my favorites. So for me, it's going to be My Hero this week.
I feel you.
I haven't fully read everything yet. Just the My Hero, JJK, Undead Unluck. Undead Unluck had actually a pretty good chapter this week. Just backstories. That's more for more lore. Sakamoto Days actually was fun too. It's very hard to choose, but I think I would give it, because there's more investment into it, and we've already been following, and I feel like we really love to talk My Hero. Like there's always never anything that we don't talk about. So it really would go to My Hero in my point of view. I feel like even throughout this entire year of Shonen Ronin, even though like you guys have mentioned Black Clover, it's really hard to find things to talk about. But with My Hero, it's very consistent, where there's always something to talk about every single chapter. And I actually really like that.
You're right.
And that might give us a whole unbiased views of best manga of the year, but I still choose My Hero Academia for this week as well. So we'll fully discuss that topic.
Yeah, the manga of the year conversation is going to be interesting. And I feel like we should get together and determine like which ones we actually read and which ones we didn't read, so people aren't disappointed. It's like we're just going to tell you ones that we didn't have the time to read, so we can talk about the ones that we read. Because there ain't no point in us ranking stuff that we didn't read.
Right.
Because I mean, we're all busy. Like we're all real busy. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to.
Yeah. Like there is a lot of series for us to talk about. Like Kaiju number 8. That's also the big series that we enjoyed this year.
It's still gonna be a new chapter this Thursday too for Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju. Oh my god.
One Punch Man as well. Other monthly series and everything. So can't wait for us to talk about that.
I mean, Boruto was kind of dope at some points.
Dragon Super
Twin Star Exorcist
was been very good.
Twin Star Exorcist has been good.
Yeah. And quick reminder for people: we will have time for Boruto and Dragon Ball Super tomorrow, so we'll have a video maybe as one stream itself, but we will see how we feel about that. But other than that, we're good to wrap it, right?
Yep. But by the way, just to give you a quick peek, we love the Bleach trailer. Loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. Hey,
we did talk about the Bleach trailer the first 7 minutes of the stream. So
I've been rereading this last arc, and bro, we in for a good time.
Definitely, I can't wait.
We're in for a good time.
Even though we're trying to add another manga into our list, and then knowing that Chainsaw Man comes back in the summer of next year too.
Chainsaw Man.
I can't wait to see Depression. Anyway,
tell folks, it's the only one that I collect physically. So
definitely. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Check out all links down below. Ray Apollo, Twitch stream, careful spoilers, villains, movie reviews, best and worst ones. Everything's coming out. Definitely stay tuned for that. And check out the content. Happy holidays. Check it out. Enjoy yourself, guys. Take care.
Hey, remember that time Vash died? By the way, Abe, you a bum.
We love you.
So